Hello, I'm Willie from the Ozarks, and we are ready for our May the 21st lesson in the Course in Miracles workbook for students. We're reading from the original edition, and it's we're ready for a review lesson 111 for morning and evening. No, 111, that is incorrect. Lesson 141, my mind holds only what I think with God. And we're going to attach that idea to our last 20 lessons, 2 each day. Today being, my mind holds only what I think with God. Forgiveness is the key to happiness, and forgiveness offers everything I want. So we're going to do that every morning. We're going to have a reminder of a few minutes, and a little reminder in the evening, 5 minutes or so. Morning and evening, and then a short reminder each hour as it chimes through the day. Okay, so let's take a look at our review reading. How we're going to do that. Review number 4. Now we review again. This time aware we are preparing for the second part of learning how the truth can be applied. Today we will begin to concentrate on readiness for what will follow next. Such is our aim for this review and for the lessons following. Thus we review the recent lessons and their central thoughts in such a way as will facilitate the readiness which we would now achieve. There is a central theme that unifies each step in the review we undertake, which can be simply stated in these words: my mind holds only what I think with God. My mind holds only what I think with God. This is a fact and represents the truth of what you are and what your Father is. It is this thought by which the Father gave creation to the Son, establishing the Son as co-creator with Himself. It is this thought which fully guarantees salvation to the Son. For in His mind no thoughts can dwell but those His Father shares. Lack of forgiveness blocks this thought from His awareness. Yet it is forever true that your mind holds only what you think with God is forever true. And what blocks that from you being aware of it is your unforgivenesses, what He calls your lack of forgiveness. Let us begin our preparation with some understanding of the many forms in which the lack of true forgiveness may be carefully concealed. Because they are illusions, they are not perceived to be what they are. Defenses which protect your unforgiving thoughts from being seen and recognized. Their purpose is to show you something else and hold correction off through self-deception made to take its place. And yet your mind holds only what you think with God. Your self-deceptions cannot take the place of truth, no more than can a child who throws a stick into the ocean change the coming and the going of the tides, the warming of the water by the sun, the silver of the moon on it by night. So do we start each practice period in this review with readying our minds to understand the lessons that we read and see the meaning which they offer us. Begin each day with time devoted to the preparation of the mind to learn what each idea you will receive that day can offer you in freedom and in peace. Open your mind and clear it of all the thoughts that would deceive, and let this thought alone engage it fully and remove the rest. My mind holds only what I think with God. 5 minutes with this thought will be enough to set the day along the lines which God appointed, and to place His mind in charge of all the thoughts you will receive that day. They will not come from you alone, for they will all be shared with Him. And so each one will bring the message of His love to you, returning messages of yours to Him. So will communion with the Lord of hosts be yours, as He Himself has willed it be. And as His own completion joins with Him, so will He join with you who are complete as you unite with Him and He with you. After your preparation, so about 5 minutes of preparation, thinking to yourself, my mind holds only what I think with God. After your preparation, merely read each of the 2 ideas assigned to you to be reviewed that day. Then close your eyes and say them slowly to yourself. There's no hurry now, for you're using time for its intended purpose. Let each word shine with the meaning God has given it, as it was given to you through His voice. Let each idea that you review that day give you the gift which He has laid in it for you to have of Him. And we will use no format for our practicing but this. Okay, so what I'm seeing, He's going to tell us the format to use in our practicing. And but that first 5 minutes we're going to do of the morning and 5 minutes of the evening. And then we're going to add this thought. And we're not going to let time be the dictate. We might spend a minute. We might spend 10. We're going to let the awareness that we're receiving a gift from God and not be really bound by time on that portion. Just, He says that time is not the best way to learn salvation. And I think He's given us a little chance of tasting receiving a gift from God in your quiet rather than being too worried about time. You've already put in your 5 minutes. You've been thinking, my mind holds only what I think with God. Now bring that idea associated with your 10 days of review, which will be 2 lessons each day. Today being, my mind holds only what I think with God, and then we'll review forgiveness. Forgiveness is the key to happiness, and forgiveness offers everything I want. So each hour of the day, bring to your mind the thought with which the day began and spend a quiet moment with it. Then repeat the 2 ideas you practiced for the day unhurriedly, with time enough to see the gifts which they contain for you, and let them be received where they were meant to be. We add no other thoughts, but let them be the messages they are. We need no more than this to give us happiness and rest and endless quiet, perfect certainty, and all our Father wills that we receive as the inheritance we have of Him. Each day of practicing, as you review, we close as we began, repeating first the thought that made the day a special time of blessing and of happiness for us, and through our faithfulness restored the world from darkness to the light, from grief to joy, from pain to peace, from sin to holiness. God offers thanks to you who practice thus the keeping of His word. And as you give your mind to the ideas for the day, again before you sleep, His gratitude surrounds you in the peace wherein He wills you be forever, and are learning now to claim again as your inheritance. Okay, so my mind holds only what I think with God. Forgiveness is the key to happiness. Forgiveness offers everything I want. And this is, I just read to you the review, review number 4. Okay, so you kind of know what you're going to be doing for the next 10 days. A 5, 6, 7, 8 minute morning and evening meditation. Whatever it takes to receive your gift. 5 minutes thinking of my mind holds only what I think with God. And then a little time to think about the 2 associated ideas after that. And then once you've received a feeling that, or a knowledge that you understand, you have a gift given to you by God, well then you're completed for the day. All right, let's go take a look in our text reading, and we are ready for the last section in chapter 18. which is the passing of the dream. Chapter 18, the dream and the reality. Well, this is the passing of the dream, section 11. I'm sitting here in my potato patch. These are Irish cobblers on both sides of me. And here is a little Irish cobbler flower. Let me pull one off so you can see it a little better. Little Irish cobbler flower. Isn't that pretty? Anyway, just kind of wanted to show you. Look how nice they're doing. I don't know if you can really tell how I've got it mounded up on both sides of the potatoes, and I'm sitting here in the row. Okay, I also wanted to tell you about a sunflower. This is a common one. It's called the Mammoth Russian, a real big sunflower. Helianthus annuus, A-N-N-U-U-S. One of the oldest and most popular sunflowers available, this flower truly lives up to its colossal name. The towering 12-foot plants grow huge heads supported by massive stems. This variety attracts pollinators, turns heads in the neighborhood, and provides gray-striped seeds for eating or for feeding wildlife throughout the winter. It's an annual. It's 90 days, and it says there's 4,000 seeds to the pound. Okay, so that's your Mammoth Russian sunflower. I read to you out of the Seed Savers Exchange. Okay, let's take a look at this last section. It's only 4 paragraphs long, and it goes so well with our lesson today. My mind holds only what I think with God. You know, you are love. My mind holds only what I think with love. That's your true identity. This course will lead to knowledge, but knowledge itself is still beyond the scope of our curriculum. Let me read you the last sentence of yesterday's reading. Here is the source of light. Let me back up. Yet even forgiveness is not the end. Forgiveness does make lovely, but it does not create. It is the source of healing, but it is the messenger of love and not its source. Here you are led that God Himself can take the final step unhindered, for here does nothing interfere with love, letting it be itself. A step beyond this holy place of forgiveness, a step still further inward, but the one you cannot take, transports you to something completely different. Here is the source of life. Here is the source of light. Nothing perceived, forgiven, nor transformed, but merely known. So we were going to use forgiveness to restore to us our true identity with God, our true identity of love. This course will lead to knowledge, but knowledge itself is beyond the scope of our curriculum. Nor is there any need for us to try to speak of what must forever lie beyond words. We need remember only that whoever attains the real world, beyond which learning cannot go, will go beyond it, but in a different way. Where learning ends, there God begins. For learning ends before Him who is complete, where He begins, where there is no end. It is not for us to dwell on what cannot be attained. There is too much to learn. The readiness for knowledge still must be attained. So we're learning. What we're doing with forgiveness is we're trying to remove the blocks to the awareness of love's presence. Love is not learned. Its meaning lies in itself. And learning ends when you have recognized all it is not. That is not the interference. That is what needs to be undone. Love is not learned because there never was a time in which you knew it not. Learning is useless in the presence of your Creator, whose acknowledgement of you and yours of Him so far transcends all learning that everything you learned is meaningless, replaced forever by the knowledge of love and its one meaning. Your relationship has been uprooted from the world of shadows, and its unholy purpose has been safely brought through the barrier of guilt, washed with forgiveness, and set shining and firmly rooted in the world of light. From there it calls to you to follow the course it took, lifted high above the darkness, and gently placed before the gates of heaven. The holy instant in which you were united is but the messenger of love, sent from beyond forgiveness to remind you of all that lies beyond it. Yet it is through forgiveness that it will be remembered. And when the memory of God has come to you in the holy place of forgiveness, you will remember nothing else, and memory will be as useless as learning. For your holy purpose will be creating. Yet this you cannot know until every perception has been cleansed and purified and finally removed forever. Forgiveness removes only the untrue, lifting the shadows from the world and carrying it safe and sure within its gentleness to the bright world of new and clean perception. There is your purpose now, and it is there that peace awaits you. So we're going to be learning to remove the blocks to the awareness of love's presence by our lesson for today. My mind holds only what I think with God. Forgiveness is the key to happiness. Forgiveness offers everything I want. So use time for what its purpose is, to remember God. Use your forgiveness to do just that. Thank you all so much for joining me out here in my potato patch and studying A Course in Miracles with me. I hope you do well with your hourly reminders. I'm sure you'll probably do fine with your morning and evening. You know, you probably by now have developed a little bit of a habit of stopping or waking up with the thought of God and going to sleep with the thought of God using our curriculum. And hopefully you're beginning to develop the habit of stopping at the beginning of each hour and remembering your lesson, remembering God, really. So until tomorrow, my mind holds only what I think with God. Forgiveness is the key to happiness. Forgiveness offers everything I want, which was basically review lesson 121 and 122. Coupled with this new idea we're going to say for the next 10 days, many hours of the day. He really wants us to get this idea. My mind holds only what I think with God. And today, my mind holds only what I think with God. Forgiveness is the key to happiness. Forgiveness offers everything I want.